Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a softball tournament was hosted during the weekend to help fundraise for a scholarship dedicated to a fallen officer. And Alice Lloyd students moved in during the weekend as they prepare for the new school year.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on August 14th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Brandon, we are in a first alert weather day, so as kids, now more students are starting back to school today. It's probably not a bad idea to send them with a rain jacket. Right. There are chances of rain all throughout the day. You know I like to look ahead, though. Once we get through this.
Exactly. Once we get past today, it is smooth sailing all week long. So we just got to get past one more day. But today is very fluid, pun intended, because rain chances are possible at any time, and there's 2 potential rounds of storms. We'll talk more about those in just a minute. Let's talk about right now. Satellite radar loop for the last 6 hours. Not a whole lot, but a few spotty showers and storms trying to pop in there, especially down into parts of southern Kentucky, around the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and then going into West Virginia there again. Very spotty this morning. Jenkins, US 119, US 23 looking okay for the moment. We're going to continue to watch that. Temperatures mild and muggy. We're looking at 70s across most of the region. The exceptions: Grundy at 69, Wise and Williamsburg at 68, Clintwood at 66, Prestonsburg and Moorhead, also Ashland and Monticello, all at 73. Those are our warm spots. Dew points in the 70s this morning, so it is air you can wear, except for in Clintwood. They're down to 51, but still, first alert weather day continues, rounds of storms possible, and after this front goes by, a fall preview for the next couple of days. Olivia?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Dozens of people came to check out a softball tournament Saturday, but not for the reason you may think. This tournament is to raise money for a new scholarship in the name of West Virginia State Police Sergeant Corey Maynard. He was killed in the line of duty in June. Matt Lackritz spent the day hanging out with the teams.
A softball field might not be the place you'd expect to find members of law enforcement, firefighters, and more. But everyone is here for a special reason: to honor West Virginia State Trooper Sergeant Corey Maynard. He was killed in the line of duty in June.
For those of us that knew him well, that worked with him every day, he touched our lives in a way that'll never be forgotten.
Through this softball tournament, they're helping raise funds to support a scholarship in Corey's name that will support families of first responders. And for those like Sergeant Jamie Harris, who went to the academy with Corey, seeing all these people show their love and support, he couldn't ask for anything more.
I know that to see this type of sport be played, to see a tournament in his honor and to raise money for a scholarship in his name would be something else that I think would be truly special to him.
And to start off the 4th game of the day, a special pinch hitter took the field.
Our leadoff batter is the son of Sergeant Corey Maynard, Finn. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
The tournament, organized by Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College, CEO Stacy Dingus says it's amazing to see such passion in creating this scholarship.
This is a way that we not only remember Corey, but we're also able to give back to our community through any first responder and their immediate family who might want to attend Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College.
Dingus says they're hoping to raise $50,000. Half of that would immediately go to students in need, and the other half they would invest so that in the future they'll be able to give money to students.
Alice Lloyd College students returned to campus to get moved in before the start of the new semester. The move-in took place this weekend, and as students are getting settled into their dorms, Scott Cornett, the vice president of student services, says the college is expecting a larger enrollment this year after suffering damage from last year's floods.
We expect enrollment to be full capacity this year. We've had, of course, last year at this time we had the flood, it just had happened, and so there's a lot of damage in the region and the area, and we had a lot of things that happened here on campus too, but we were fortunate compared to most, but still some damage here that we are still recovering from.
Cornett says some bridges on campus were damaged, but construction on those is finished, and the staff is excited to start another school year. As students head back to school this week, many of them are still feeling the effects of the COVID pandemic and what it had on learning. A study from Harvard's Center for Education Policy Research reviewed math, reading, and history scores from the past 3 years. They found that students experienced a significant decline in learning during the pandemic.
So it's really opened up a lot of really interesting conversations about what does student engagement look like in the classroom, and how can we better engage our young people in a way that continues to connect with them.
Dr. Moore Schroeder recommends parents keep an open line of communication with their child's teachers to discuss their struggles and successes in the classroom. Over the weekend, a new playground opened in Somerset, with officials having big goals for the project. WYMT's RJ Johnson talked with Somerset Mayor Alan Keck about why this park is important.
Fisher Fun Park 2 is the newest addition to the city of Somerset.
This is the bottom of Rocky Hollow Park, a great playground or a great park in the heart of our downtown. We've had a cleanup going on for several years, and we thought this was a great place to put a playground for all kids that they could walk to and enjoy for years to come.
Somerset Mayor Alan Keck says this is a way to make progress in the community.
I'm just grateful that the community is, sort of asked and demanded us to keep reaching, keep pushing, not to get stale. A lot of communities can get stale and stagnant. Well, we want to keep moving forward, and this is a great example of how we've done that.
He says by adding pops of color, the park also serves as a way to help revitalize the city.
I mean, the colors represent our city logo. That was intentional. It is, as you mentioned, kind of a beautification project. It's something that we think has enhanced this section of town. And again, it's just something for families, good, wholesome fun.
With the ability to learn and participate in activities relating to sign language, music, and more, Keck says this playground is inclusive.
We're proud of this playground because it's all inclusive. Kids with handicaps or disabilities can still enjoy it. We've got a volleyball court right behind us, a splash pad. There's a little something for kids of all ages.
With help from other community leaders, Keck says he is excited for the role this park will play for the city. In Somerset, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
In addition to the playground and splash pad, the park has sand volleyball, frisbee golf, and a trail of books for kids to read. The Country Music Highway Tribute Show was hosted Saturday in Whitesburg. More than 40 vendors with food, crafts, and gifts were on hand, along with music from local artists who played country music cover songs as well as some of their own songs. Corey Michael Harris, who was this year's headlining act, says people heard cover songs from some of country music's greatest artists. These artists paved the way for people like him to be able to take the stage.
We'll be doing some songs from folks who are notable artists along the Country Music Highway here in Eastern Kentucky. So, I'm honored to have been asked to headline this event here and then to play the event next weekend in Prestonsburg.
Harris also says he plays all across the region, including Tennessee and Virginia, and he loves Eastern Kentucky. For many, cicada sounds are associated with the sounds of summer. Right now, we are specifically hearing the dog-day cicadas in the bluegrass. UK ophthalmologist Jonathan Larson says that those loud cicada sounds are emitted by the males hoping to find a mate. We hear the loud songs from these bugs every year, even though the insects hibernate under the ground thanks to the cycles of the bugs.
It can get quite loud. These ones that we're listening to right now are annual cicadas. They come out every summer without fail. They're usually in the ground for 2 to 3 years, but they have so many overlapping generations that we always get some that come out in the summer.
You can expect to hear those sounds sticking around for the rest of the summer season here in the bluegrass.
6:09 here on this Monday morning. We continue to track a few spotty showers and storms down to the south. Let's go right to live pinpoint Doppler radar. Spotty is the operative word. No major issues just yet. We're watching a little bit of development in parts of Pulaski and over toward McCreary, heading toward Whitley counties this morning. So again, just be careful out there. Maybe you make it all the way over to Knox County just a little bit. So just take it easy out there. Give yourself plenty of time here in Perry County, Buffalo Mountain. Not looking too bad this morning. A little fog in some of those valleys, 70 degrees here. here in town, and we see that trend continuing for most of the region. They're very mild and muggy out there this morning. Williamsburg hanging tough at 68. All the other 60s are in southwest Virginia. Today up to 87, but it's contingent on when the first round of rain starts. If we get a little bit of a break between now and the afternoon, we could see again the possibility for a rewarm, but if we don't, we're not going to see those 87. It'd probably be more like the low to mid 80s out there. So it all depends on how widespread those storms are and how much those skies clear before round number 2 later tonight. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, an American company over 100 years old is looking to potentially sell in its entirety.